Hi, it's Fred from the Fred and Angie Morning Show on 103.5 KISS FM in Chicago, and you're listening to the Friday Sports Riot on SportstownChicago.com. And I've never heard these people, so I don't know if they suck or not, so this is not an endorsement.
What's up? This is the Friday Sports Riot on SportstownChicago.com. Call the show, 630-403-5200. That's 630-403-5200. And Ryan, who do we have on the phone line right now?
From 670 The Score, right here in Chicago, we have Herb Lawrence on the Illinois Center for Broadcasting hotline. What's up, Herb?
Nothing much, guys. How you feeling?
We are doing good. So now, how has everything been at 670 The Score since we last had you on the show?
Pretty much everything's the same. I mean, we're pretty much going through a transition or wait period for one of our hosts to come through, but I think that's going to be resolved real soon, and waiting for Bear season. It starts up on, I believe, Thursdays when they give the press conference, Tressman and Phil Emery, so we're really excited for that to start because baseball, as you guys know, has been a dud in this town.
Yeah.
Right.
The White Sox on our station. I love the White Sox, and so I don't mind it, but, it's all about those numbers, so we're looking for a nice Bear season this year.
Yeah, well, let's start off talking about the Bears and some of their offseason moves. What has been the best offseason move for the Bears, in your opinion?
I think getting Lamar Houston, was the best move for the Bears. It set forth a motion for getting Willie Young, getting Jared Allen eventually, and setting that defensive line apart from just being a horrible, horrible defense last year to being a above-average defensive line, on paper at least. I think that makes the defense middle-of-the-pack type of defense this year, which is all you need for that high-powered offense the Bears have.
Right.
Just don't mess up. That's all the Bears' offense needs to do. They're going to score 30-some points this year on average. That you just need to get off the field as soon as you can possibly do it and get the ball back to the offense. And I think Lamar Houston is the one that set the table for the rest of the free agent signings they had this whole year. He's versatile. He can play the D tackle. He can play the D end. So he gives the Bears the flexibility they need. So if they want to go 4 defensive ends, they can do that with Lamar Houston shutting inside, going inside. Maybe go with Jeremiah Ratliff or somebody in the inside that can rush the passer really well.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. And now, assuming Jay Cutler has a healthy full season, can this team dethrone Green Bay from winning the division this year?
I believe so. I still have Green Bay slightly ahead of them right now because the moves they made were pretty solid, but I think the Bears are right there. It's 1A and 1B as far as the NFC North, and as far as the NFC as a whole, I got Seattle and San Francisco in front of the Bears, and that's about it. The Bears and Packers are right there at 3 or 4, and then the Eagles, Saints are in that mishmash, but there's nobody that really scares me in this whole NFC if I'm a Bears fan. Seattle maybe, but
right.
I don't know if they can score enough to keep up with the Bears.
Well, now, since you're not afraid of any teams in the NFC, do you expect Alshon Jeffrey to just come in and dominate the NFC and be one of the most successful wide receivers in the NFL again? What is your take, Herb?
Yeah, I think that Alshon going from year 1 to year 2 was great, and year 2 to year 3 is going to be even better. It's the second year in the offense like it is for everybody. He's going to explode because Brandon Marshall's still a beast, and Martellus Bennett still commands attention up the middle. So you can't have that single team on the outside with Alshon Jeffrey because he's shown you that he'll go and get that ball, and he'll beat you for a deep ball. And the fact that they still have Matt Forte in the backfield, you can't just play dime coverage the whole time, or the Bears will gas you with the run game. So Alshon Jeffrey is going to have another great year for Brandon Marshall. Jay Cutler, if he stays healthy, is going to throw for 4,000 yards, and it's going to be a good year for the Bears offense with health included in that.
And now you just brought up Matt Forte. He's a guy who we have seen so much potential in, and he's had some great seasons, but he's always hurt. So could this be the year, Herb, where he finally plays a full season and is a beast for the team in orange and blue?
He's going to need to because the backup situation right now is a little sketchy. Kadeem Carey, I'm not too high on him. He's a rookie. Ford, not too high on. The guy needs to play exactly probably, I would say 14, 15 games this year for him to explode where he needs to be, and the Bears need him to be. I don't think he needs to play all 16 because, it's tough. The NFL's a tough game, and in the running back, he's going to get some nicks and bruises, and I want him to sit out for the betterment of the long run, the playoffs. That's where I think the Bears are most focused on this year. That's what they should be focused on this year, because I think that anything less than the NFC Championship is a bad year, is a bust, because this team is ready to go.
Yeah, I agree with that, too. And we're talking with Herb Lawrence from 670 The Score here on the Illinois Center for Broadcasting Hotline. And let's move on to the NBA real quick. Of course, the Bulls formally introduced Pau Gasol and Nikola Mirotic today. First off, are you a fan of these signings for the Bulls? And secondly, how will they contribute to this Bulls team?
Fan is a weird word about these signings, at least. I was all right with these signings. I was like, okay, you didn't get Carmelo Anthony? You're going to bring Nikola Mirotic over? Fine. That was fine. That was a good move. And Pau Gasol is a solid player. Nothing to write home about, but he's going to bring some offense to the team. Much needed back to the basket game. Another interior passer like Joakim Noah is. So if Dougie McBuckets is open on the perimeter, you have a guy who can actually deliver the ball into him in rhythm. It was all right move for Pau Gasol. Mirotic, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. People tell me, Fran Fraschilla said he's going to be if he came out in the NBA draft, he would have been the fourth best prospect. He would have been the fourth pick. So that's promising. But I also heard that he got smoked this year in EuroLeague sometimes. So if you're getting smoked in EuroLeague, the NBA is not going to be a picnic for you in a rookie year. And speaking of rookie years, Tom Thibodeau is not going to be given much minutes to a guy who doesn't play defense. And that's the knock on him, that his defense is not, NBA quality yet. So hopefully he wants to try hard and work hard at practice so he can get him a little run on the team.
Now, Herb, I want to get your take on this. I like the Lakers as my second team, along with the Bulls being the first. So I got to watch Pau Gasol take the team, or help the team go to 3 finals and win 2 rings, as he was a beast in the paint. And it seemed like once Phil Jackson left the team, he got injured and he had a lack of motivation. So what is the chance that coming to the Bulls with a great coach like Tom Thibodeau, great fans, and with Derrick Rose, that this could be the rejuvenation where maybe he's not the same Pau Gasol, but he contributes a lot and helps his team go far in the playoffs? What is your take, Herb?
Yeah, he only needs to be, he doesn't need to be the Pau Gasol old. He just needs to be 14 points per game, play probably 65 games out of the 82 Pau Gasol. And if he's just fine, like if he's just grabbing his 9-10 rebounds per, you're solid with that. He only needs to be that guy. He needs to be the maybe secondary or tertiary scorer on the Bulls right now, because I'm looking for players like Taj Gibson and Jimmy Butler to take a step up. And also, if Dougie McBuckets gets a little run, I think he's going to score at least 12, 13 points himself. That's granted if the coach lets him on the court. I think he should be starting, actually. Doug McDermott should be starting with the team, like Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Pau Gasol, and Joakim Noah. That gives them a best chance to exploit the defense. So if they double down on Paul, when they do the entry feed, you have Doug McBuckets on the same side. So you're a little leery on double down on Paul. And if you put Pau Gasol on a single team, his post moves are superior to most people's defense. So there's going to be some easy buckets in the paint, and that's why Doug McBuckets opens up the court for those type of guys, because they know they can't leave him, because that's going to be an instant 3 if they do double down on a man like Pau Gasol.
Now, Herb, crazier things happen in sports, like we all know. So this is a bit of a far-fetched, but I want to get your take. A lot of basketball sites that talk about the prospects are comparing Mirotic to Dirk Nowitzki. Is there any chance in hell that he could be half the player that Dirk is and contribute a lot to the Bulls? What is your take?
I think so. I mean, if he's even half the player, you take that, because he won a couple of EuroLeague Players of the Year?
Yeah.
Or whoever his league is, Player of the Year. That's pretty solid. I don't know where that league would be as a baseball analogy, if that is the AA of the NBA, or if that's a AAA league. But if the kid's 23, he's just learning basketball in general, and now he has to do a whole new system, a whole new life, a whole new language, everything. It's going to be a hard go for him the first couple of years, I think, because of those factors. But if he could be half of the player that Dirk Nowitzki is, you take that in a second. I don't know if he can get that high, but if he is, that's a great win for the Bulls.
And now, some people sort of don't agree with Derrick Rose participating in USA Basketball because I think maybe he could get hurt again and all that stuff. Where do you stand on the subject? Do you think that he should play with this USA Basketball team next month?
Yeah, I always say steel sharpens steel.
Right.
Old saying, and you're not getting better beating bums. You play versus the best, you're going to get better just by doing it. And if he's going to get hurt, he's going to get hurt. That's going to be happening either in the Worlds or it's going to be happening in the NBA schedule. So I don't hide from a person because they might get hurt. And that's when you do get hurt, because you're thinking you might get hurt.
Yes.
So you got to get out there and achieve and try to make this team. It's not a lock that he's going to make this team. Luckily, Russell Westbrook declined the invitation, but Kyrie Irving's a beast. John Wall's a beast.
Right.
Steph Curry's a beast. Is he going to make the team? I don't know. But if he brings his A game, I think he easily makes the team. And that's what you want. You want him to say, you know what, I am still the best point guard in the game. And take that as a personal affront that these kids think they can beat me and smoke them and show them exactly what's going down in Derrick Rose's mouth and his game, and take it to the Worlds and show the world that you're ready to play. And when it comes time for October and training camp, you're ready to go. You don't have any worries about your knee anymore because you've went through the rigors of playing actual basketball at a high level.
Now, Herb, I want to get your take on this. There have been a lot of underrated moves in the Central Division this summer, with Jabari Parker going to the Bucks, Van Gundy making a lot of moves up in Detroit, LeBron obviously returning to the Cavs, and then the moves the Bulls have made. Could this be one of the underrated divisions to watch out for in the NBA? What is your take?
It is the best division in the NBA. You have the Bulls, you have the Pacers, you have the Cavs, Detroit's coming up, like you're saying. When you got Stan Van Gundy as your coach, you're going to be good. You're going to be better than you were before because the man knows how to coach X's and O's. They signed, what's some dude's name back? Guy from Georgetown. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's a restricted free agent. They haven't signed back, but they signed him back. They have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope coming back.
Right.
The team is just ready to go. Maybe not a playoff team like an 8, 9, 10 seed in the East right now, but Indiana, they lost Lance Stevenson. They bring in C.J. Miles. They still have the team that I think is a top 5 Eastern Conference team. Eastern Conference not that strong this year, but they're still Eastern Conference top 5. So are the Bulls, and the Cavs are my cream of the crop of the East. I don't care if they don't trade Wiggins for Love, which I would strongly suggest them not to do.
Yeah.
I think Wiggins is a beast. I think he will be even more of a beast eventually. Like the Central's great, and Jabari in Milwaukee, he's going to make that team already a must-watch and also much better. I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Genius Anton, whatever. He's Greek.
Yeah.
He's still balling, and that Central Division is one of the best. It's probably the best, I say, in my mind, in the NBA this year.
Now, going back to the Cavs real quick, why do you think LeBron James doesn't want to have Andrew Wiggins and he wants Kevin Love? Kevin Love's a good player, but he's hurt a lot. And to me, I think Wiggins is a raw talent who's very young, and LeBron James could make the most of him, as he made Birdman an effective player. So here's my thing. Is there any chance in hell that LeBron James doesn't want Andrew Wiggins to outshine him, so he wants to bring in Kevin Love, or am I overthinking this? What is your take?
I think that he just wants a guy who shoots at a high clip from the three-point line, grabs a lot of rebounds. He's a rebound master out there, and he's one of the most efficient players in the NBA. And if you can grab a player like that, you do it. And I think LeBron's looking short-term. Like, I want to win a championship this year, and Kevin Love brings me closer to doing that than keeping these people on my team. I disagree with him, but the man knows what he wants, so I'll defer to him in certain capacities. But I just think that Kevin Love he's a top 5, top 10 NBA player. You get him on your team, you're going to be better. I think short term. But he makes the real money. I think the NBA is about getting talent and cheap talent. And that's what Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett are. They're in their rookie deals. They don't cost a lot of money. Kevin Love is going to cost you full boat money. You're going to be up against the cap. And if it doesn't work, you have nowhere to go. There is no flexibility. Kevin Love's going to be signed. LeBron's signed for another year after that. You need the flexibility of having Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins. If they show out and show you that they can play ball, and next year you want to maybe do a deal, then you do it. But this year I think you want to see what Andrew Wiggins can do, and what Anthony Bennett could do with LeBron. Like you were saying, he made Chris Anderson a good player. He made Mo Williams a good player. He made Larry Hughes a good player. He made all these people. His father-in-law, what's his name? But I keep on forgetting his name. His father-in-law, Delonte West. He made him good.
Yeah.
These people, LeBron instantly makes people around him much better. Kyrie Irving's going to be, he's already an all-star. He's going to be one of the top point guards in the game with LeBron out there. LeBron doesn't have to do as much of the ball handling, so it gives him a little bit more time to free base, freestyle free base.
Right.
That's bad. Freestyle on the floor, maybe some back to the basket stuff, some movement onto the perimeter, and so it's better for him to keep the team as is instead of bringing Kevin Love. But if he does bring Kevin Love, I think then that they're a title contender this year. I don't think they're necessarily a title contender with the currently constructed team. I think they're going to be in the title game in the NBA Finals, but I think the West is just too strong, 1-8.
And now, before we let you go, Herb, where can people find your work online and on the radio?
670thescore.com is where I usually podcast either shows I do with Lawrence or the when I do producing shows, when I do it with Lawrence or Joe, or when Shep and I do shows on Sunday. I think we usually podcast that, but Shep and I are usually on from after the White Sox game's on Sunday till about 9 or 10. It depends on what the schedule makers put out there for us. And my Twitter is ECNERWAL23. It's just Lawrence spelled backwards, 23. Mm-hmm. And I'll always update you on when I'm on the air, what I'm talking about. I do a lot of other nonsense there too.
Right.
Well, Herb, have a good weekend, my man, and thank you for coming on to Friday Sports Riot here on SportsTownChicago.com.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
You too, Herb. And that was Herb Lawrence. You can check him out on 670 The Score. We will be right back on the Friday Sports Riot here on SportsTownChicago.com. After this, BRB.
The Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com.
This is an official broadcast of Hoppy Radio. For more info, check out hoppyradio.com and hoppysworld.com.